Is there anything you want to say before we start?
No, just go ahead. Just introduce it. I'm ready to go.
Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it. So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and
Jason. Welcome to the Worst of the Best podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today, returning guest host and forever my brother, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back. For better or for worse, I am forever your brother.
Yeah. We should do the best of the, or the worst of the best of my brothers. Which was the worst? I guess it depends on the stage and phase of our life, I guess.
And it may also depend on your co-host.
Yeah.
That might interfere with your choice.
That's true. Yeah, I really enjoyed our last recording. If you haven't heard it yet, dear listeners, go back and listen to the one I did with Ruben and Jason. We did the top death of the celebrity deaths, or whatever you call it. We picked our worst choice of those who have passed away in 2020. As of this recording, there's still a few days left in December and in 2020, and there's been some deaths since that episode got released, but nothing noteworthy, and certainly nothing to dethrone our pick, I don't think.
No, I've seen a couple people. I haven't seen anything that would sway my decision.
So as it stands right now, our picks still stand. No appendage episode is necessary. So speaking of celebrities, these people are living. These are celebrities that are alive and well. And not only are they alive and well, they are worth a lot of money.
You might be speaking too soon.
What do you mean?
There might be one or two people on this list.
That'd be hilarious.
Posthumously still rake it in.
Well, there's actually one person on this list I'm surprised is still alive, to be honest with you. So it'll be interesting to see if this individual will pass away by the time we release this episode. So as of right now, these are the 30 celebrity and net worth. These are the top net worth celebrities in the world. And at the end, we'll pick, independent of each other, not knowing our answers beforehand, who we feel is the worst or maybe the least deserving of the money that they are worth. I'm going to do with the value they have been equated to really what they provide me as a person, or even to the world, one way or the other. Are they really worth what they're getting paid?
These are the 30 richest celebrities in the world of 2020. Don't think it includes athletes or active athletes.
Oh, okay. Active athletes.
Yeah, like I'm reading what they deem to be celebrities.
So the minimum net worth required to be in the top 30 is 600 million.
That's a nice list.
Believe it or not, Jason, there are 12 celebrity billionaires in the world today. Billionaires.
Let's find out who they are.
Yeah, let's find out who they are.
And see if they deserve the billion, according to us.
Yeah. It's going to probably be somebody maybe in the billions. That will be my worst pick. And as of right now, for the record, I don't have a worst pick. I glanced over the list briefly, and we're going to go in it kind of cold. I don't know, Jason, if you even have a worst pick yet.
No, I don't actually. I barely scanned the list. I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to see who's on here. It's always interesting to see who actually makes this much money.
And how much.
And also how much you don't even know of who they are.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Before we get into it, when we throw numbers around like 600 million, for example, to the billions, here's a really neat thought exercise for people like us who are little peons in this world who will never make or amount to anything financially or otherwise. If you were given $1 million, and rightfully so, you'd say, oh, wow, I could do something with this. I could really, it would change my life. If I was smart with it and what have you, of course, it would change your life. You could do something with that. You probably just have to still work, but you'd have your house paid off and all your debts, and you would be comfortable. So the thought exercise is, how long does it take to count to 1 million if you did 1 second at a time? Hey, do you know this answer?
Well, it'd be 1 million seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course, but how many days is that?
I don't know.
Okay, so how long does it take to count to 1 million? So one number per second with no breaks at all or for any reason, it would take 11 days.
Okay.
13 hours, 46 minutes. So imagine you're counting out a dollar bill every second to get, that's how much money that is, just 1 million. It would take you 11 days to get to the end of that count. 1, that goes into your pocket. So imagine making $1 million in 11 days. Wonderful. Now, how long would it take to count to, let's say, 1 billion? So now again, $1 million change your life. It took 11 days. This gives you in your mind a graph, a scale. Okay.
Yeah. I know I've done these types of exercises in the past. $1 billion is just unbelievably.
Okay, check this out. This is absolutely insane. It would take 11,574 days. That's basically 31 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
$1 million would change your life, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
And it would take you 11 days to count to that value. It would take you 31 years, actually 31 years, 251 days to get to $1 billion. And some of these are worth more than $1 billion. So it just goes to show you the 600 million range, how, so we're talking, 15, 16 years, same idea to count that high. That just shows you the graph of how rich these people are compared to you and I. It would take me 2 days to count. Well, no, sorry, it'd take me 2 minutes to count my money. 60 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, one.
Oh, great, cool.
Yeah,
I'm worth $1. I just use that little thought exercise for our listeners who maybe haven't done this before, just to give you an idea the difference between a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a half a billionaire, and a billionaire plus. The graph of how much money, how much cash, how much value they have monetarily, anyways, compared to other celebrities and compared to little peons like us. Okay. So here we go at number 30, Simon Cowell. Needs no introduction. I know you're not a big American Idol watcher back in the day, Jason, but you certainly know who he is, I presume.
Oh, I know exactly who he is, but yeah, I don't really watch, but I appreciate what he's done and the impact that American Idol, X Factor, and all the rest has on pop culture.
Sure. 600 million. Not too shabby.
Yeah, not bad at all. Is this still a thing?
Yeah, it is, but he's not on. I think he does X Factor now, or America's Got Talent, or Britain's Got Talent. One of those three. That's his thing. That's what he does, and he's still doing it. But American Idol, he's not on that anymore. He has been on that for 10 or 12 years. And I stopped watching American Idol actually when he left. I just stopped watching all those altogether. I watched it for him. I enjoyed him on the show. He was entertaining. I didn't care about who the winners were. Once he left the show, I stopped watching.
And is there a reason he left? Just cut back, or
I think he went on to Britain's Got Talent. I think he started there, or America's Got, but money. I think he probably got paid more money. To be honest,
I think all of it's his, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a producer, so I think some of it still goes in his pockets. Yeah.
At number 29, Matt Groening. It's not a name that jumps out at me, but the projects that he's involved with, I recognize for sure. He's a writer, cartoonist, producer. He also has a net worth of around 600 million. He's primarily known as in the animated television comedies such as Simpsons, Futurama.
Yeah, it's the same. Simpsons it's still going. I remember we watched it as kids, and we weren't really allowed to watch it. Sort of, we're kind of like, it's a little bit adulty, But people have ragged on it and said, oh, it's lost its touch or whatever. Whatever it has or hasn't done, it's still going, and this guy's rich because of it.
And remember, it was at the beginning, it was all about Bart Simpson being kind of that brat kid, right? Cowabunga, he's on a skateboard, whipping through the city or whatever. Over the years, it seems to have become more of Homer.
It's the Homer show. Yeah. It's the Homer. And a lot of the side characters. Yeah. It was kind of the Bart Simpson show, but they listened to the audience. The people loved the Homer character. Yeah.
What has also happened is the audience has aged. And they more aged into Homers.
We're more like Homer than Bart.
Yeah, we all started out as Barts, and then we've all grown up into Homers. Yeah, and I don't know anything about Futurama. I can visualize the cartoons of it, but I've never watched the show.
Right. I watched Futurama. My kids, we got Disney Plus, and both my 9-year-old son and my 6-year-old son, they watch Simpsons like nonstop. They got 30 seasons to watch on Disney Plus, and that's a huge draw. What a huge get for Fox to get Disney, or Disney to get Fox, sorry, to get the Simpsons show. So my kids, they enjoy the Simpsons. It's funny how you get why they're jokes. If you don't understand the jokes, there's no harm. It just goes over kids' heads. They just watch the antics, so to speak.
Right.
All right. Number 28, Julio Iglesias. That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
I'll probably never hear of him until either he's dead or we do this again next year.
It's crazy, Jay. He's worth 600 million. I haven't heard of any. What's that one song you did, Hero or something? Or I can see the video in my mind. The wind's blowing on him or something. His white shirt's pillowed in the background.
His hair,
his sexy eyes, and he's got a record sales, Jason, of over 300 million, though.
Biggest selling Latin artist of all time by Sony.
I knew he was popular, but I actually just didn't know. I mean, he's not my genre of music, or he's not an artist I follow. If you were to tell me or make me guess how many albums he sold, I probably would have guessed, I don't know, 25 million. I don't know. 300 is a lot.
It is a lot. But we're not really into the Latin culture. So
no, why would we know? Yeah. So anyways, he also has a vast estate portfolio. So it looks like he's in real estate. That's part of his money worth. That real estate is worth 300 million alone. So there's half of his net worth is in real estate. So he's invested smartly. Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. He's used his money and turned it into something else.
Yeah, money to make money, right?
Yeah. So another musician, one that I recognize the name more than I recognize the music, Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
It's somebody we all can recognize. He's also not just a musician, but he's an author, entrepreneur.
That's crazy. I would never have guessed.
No, like when you think of artists that tour around the world and, have massive shows, you're not thinking Jimmy Buffett is making enough money to be number 27 at $600 million.
Yeah, I know. I would never, and I actually thought he was dead. Oh, if you were to tell me that Jimmy Buffett died in 2015, I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. He's still alive and he's worth 600 million. So those are two surprises to me going through this list.
Right. So another thing, though, that he has done is he's used his name and his celebrity to do other projects, other products that his income streams just isn't music anymore. It's restaurants, hotels, apparently even frozen meals. He slaps his name on stuff.
Yeah, good for him. So another smart businessman. He took his money and made it more. And his fan base are known as parrot heads. There you go. Yeah. All right, number 26, Dolly Parton. We all know who she is.
Very, very recognizable.
Yeah, she's very recognizable. She has big hair, big voice,
big personality,
a big record collection.
She's outspoken.
She has big hits. I said hits.
And a big heart.
And a big heart. And a healthy set of lungs for singing. She's 70-something now, but her chest is 30 and her lips are 20. All right. We love Dolly. How can you not love Dolly? She's nice, she's sweet, and she's also smart with her money. Much of her wealth has come from both her own record sales as well as money made from other artists using her songs. So there you go. Of course, Whitney Houston with I Will Always Love You for the film The Bodyguard.
Now, we know her from childhood to now. Mm-hmm. But remember the variety show that she did? Maybe late 80s?
Yeah, vaguely.
Oh, okay. That was actually quite a fun show. Oh, my turn. Okay, obviously this is, not a surprise. Yeah, Howard Stern coming in at number 25, $650 million.
He just signed that new contract, didn't he? $80 million contract with Sirius. I think it was for 5 years. I think it was $80 a year, $80 million a year, or something silly like that. It's a huge contract.
Yeah, I mean, to be worth $650 million, I mean, his contracts have to be way up there. Obviously, he's done some television, he's done some movies here and there, but the majority of his money is coming from his talk radio.
Right. Still the king of radio. He's tamed up a little bit over the years. You kind of have to. Yeah. You can't say and do the things quite the way he used to, but he's actually a very good interviewer. I shouldn't say actually, he is a very good interviewer. He's able to get things out of his guests at other talk show or whatever type people cannot get other guests. I think when you are a guest on the Howard Stern show, you go in knowing that Howard's going to poke you. He's going to prod you. He's going to get stuff out of you that you wouldn't share on Jimmy Fallon.
As you say, he has tamed way down. In some ways, a better interview.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a highly intelligent guy to begin with.
He gets some of the biggest stars to be on his show.
I think Joe Rogan is a pupil of his in some ways.
Yeah.
You have to be an intelligent interviewer to get a good interview, if that makes sense.
A master communicator.
Yeah.
Right. Makes him the highest paid radio personality in America. So there you go. $650 million.
Not too bad.
No.
Now, Matt Stone, you know that name, of course. He was just creator of South Park. South Park, speaking of like animation, South Park itself is still long going, 20 years plus now, I think. Must be at least 20 plus years.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Matt Stone, he's worth $700 million. And you might ask yourself, so why isn't co-creator Trey Parker on this list? It's because he and his long-term wife, they just separated in 2019. And I don't think they had a prenup before they became popular. Good old, I had no creative input whatsoever in your empire. I'm going to take half of it. Well, but Matt Stone, he's worth $700 million. So we'd have to assume Trey is at least 350, half of that, half of a half. Or
So it's interesting. We got another cartoonist.
Yep.
It's amazing how much these type of shows are worth.
Yeah, it is weird.
And when they started out, people kind of poo-pooed these shows.
I have a theory. Well, because they're always topical. So they can stay fresh with satire, doing satire of current events. So you go watch a Simpsons episode, they're making fun of things in the 90s and the early 2000s. The same with now, of course, South Park. They'll do things like they're incredible.
Yeah, like almost within the week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's insane. Yeah. So I think part of the reason is they can always stay relevant. And then on top of the always staying relevant is there's that college crowd, the 18 to 25-year-olds, college kids. They're always rotating out. They're sitting around and bored on a weekend or whatever, and they're watching South Park. And we may grow out of it as we get older in some ways, but there's always that younger audience always coming in ready to laugh at the world type thing. So I think there's a combination of all those things, being able to be modern with the satire, and it's cheap to make, relatively speaking. You're not paying a lot of live actors or props and sets. It's all animation. You can create your sets on paper, so it's like literally.
Exactly. When you are basing your show on satirical commentary of current events, you will never run out of a storyline. If you set up a character or a storyline, you have to keep on building that for years and years and years, and you're going to run out of ideas. But their ideas just based on, like you say, the satirical commentary of current events. They'll never run out of ideas because life happens.
Right.
And it just keeps giving them the storylines that they need.
And the voice actors, though they age, their voices, quote unquote, don't age. And so you don't have to worry about that either. You're forever.
Yeah, right.
And that's with The Simpsons. It's like 30 years running, and the actors have gotten older, but their voices are the same. And people do multiple voices too, which saves on casting. You got one guy doing 7 voices. You got the next one?
Yeah, James Cameron, 23, 700 mil. We obviously know the things that he's been involved with. Aliens.
He's an interesting character.
Yeah, he is. But, Aliens, Terminator, True Lies, Avatar, Titanic, some of the biggest box office movies of all time.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of films because he takes forever to do them for whatever reason. But when he makes them, they're just huge.
And like you say, he is interesting. He uses a lot of his, his personal interests and ties them into his movies and piggybacks each other, especially his interests in underwater discovery and going deep in the water. And
yeah, he was fascinated with Titanic, so he made a movie about Titanic.
Yeah.
I remember when that movie was getting made, the budget was ballooning, it was getting huge, and all these pundits were like, oh, this is going to be a huge bomb.
It's going to be a Titanic.
All those things were said. You can go back and read those articles before the film came out. And of course, it ended up being like the highest grossing film of all time forever. Now it's Avatar, or something like that, or close to it. Top 5 anyways. And it won Best Pictures. I loved it. I know there's a lot of hatred for it and for James, but you know what? He's a workhorse. Yeah, he's an innovator, inventor. He's changed technology on film to create his films.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His outside interests has piggybacked his on film interests. Right. So they work off each other. He's a genius, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why anybody would really have anything. I don't know.
Jealousy, because he's a tough nut on set. He's probably a bit of a prick, but honestly, I wonder how many of these people on this list are just nice, easygoing people.
But it's hard to get to where they are. Yeah. Caving into everybody else's needs.
Yeah, you have to have a vision and go with it. Yeah. There's some victims or casualties along the way. All right, 22, Bono. Yeah, we all know who that is. He's the guy that wears shades. He's worth $700 million. Now he's on here. I guess, are his bandmates not in that same quote unquote arena? The group U2, of course, they've released music steadily since the late 70s, and they continue obviously to sell it. If they were to do a COVID notwithstanding, if they did a concert right now, a surprise showing, a surprise concert in San Francisco, 1 day's notice, it'd sell out. They would need 1 day to sell it wherever they want to go. They're that type of band, a huge history of music and to draw from. But it's Bono's Elevation Partners investment group that made the headlines with a large pre-IPO investment into Facebook that netted the group over $1.5 billion. So Bono's take-home share for that was $50 million. So the majority of his money is from his band.
Yeah, there's no way that this list can delve into everything that he's involved with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to Bono's credit, you talk about another personality that rubs some people the wrong way because he's so vocal. He said it so himself that paraphrasing the quote, he said that, yes, I can get into doors as a celebrity that other people can't get into. And by all means, I'm going to do that. Speak my voice. What he feels is a good thing or good things that he's trying to fight for. So he recognizes, yes, my celebrity gets me into doors that other people can't. And should we fault him for that? I don't know.
Well, yeah. You take what you like from him and the music that he provides. I mean, I've seen his shows maybe 10 times or whatever. I mean, I'd be one of the people buying tickets to see his shows. It's some of the best concerts I've ever been to, and some of the best memories I have in life is listening to their music and going to their shows, including with my own children. Can't fault him. I bet he's often the writers in a band are the ones that get paid the most. And I would suspect lyrically, he has probably more writing credits than the band members.
Oh, probably.
I know the name more than I know the person. Number 21, Kylie Jenner, net worth of about $700 million, making money for being known is how I think of it. But apparently she's a TV personality, entrepreneur. What was the show that the Jenners?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something. You got to keep up with them.
Which I obviously haven't.
I've got a lot of shows to watch because I don't know anything about them, really. I only know, of course, Kim.
Yeah.
Kim's body broke the internet as the joke or apparently or whatever with that picture.
The majority of her money comes from Kylie Cosmetics. So she's delved into a cosmetic line. Good for her. That's awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah. She produced all she slapped her name on it.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
Yeah. She's not in the lab.
She's in the lab with a coat on. I think we just try mixing this chemical here. And
yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Number 20, Tiger Woods still making the money at $800 million. So we're talking about sports people. This is a surprise to me. All right. Number 19, Jay.
Yeah, number 19, Jim Davis. A bit of a throwback, isn't it? $800 million.
Yeah, we want to explain to the audience who might not know who this is just by the name only. I'm A, surprised he's still alive, and B, that it's worth what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, A, are we confirmed that he's still alive? Is that
I don't think you can be on this list and be dead, because I'm sure the people like Elvis and stuff should be on here, or Michael Jackson, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me just see if he's still alive. Jim Davis? Davies or Davis?
Jim Davis.
He's still alive, 75 years old.
That's it? Oh, how young was he when Garfield blew up? Oh, I just let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, Garfield. Could you imagine that comic strip has made him an $800 million worth?
That's crazy. Nobody in my house talks about, buys anything no influence. Like, yeah, we talked about South Park and we talked about Simpsons, but there's no consumption of Garfield in my home. And I haven't read a Garfield comic in decades. So how is this happening?
Back in the day, so he was probably a genius of marketing himself, because I had a Garfield lunchbox.
Garfield was huge.
You had the cartoon.
Movie with Bill Murray.
Yeah, Garfield was massive. But the fact that has allowed him to have a net worth of $800 million this many years later.
He's worth more than Bono.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, see, this is what's interesting about these lists. Is you think of the impact that people have, it doesn't always equate to a worth. There's not one person on earth who doesn't know who Bono is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or hasn't heard their music, isn't influenced, has been influenced positively or negatively or whatever, or felt the influence of U2 in their life.
Garfield.
There's such a niche group of people that care about Garfield.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
at the height of it all.
I don't get it. I'm not saying he's not deserving. I'm just legit surprised. Good for him.
If the Peanuts dude was still alive.
Charles M. Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what his estate is worth. It's something we can quickly Google here.
That's somebody, like, to me, the Peanuts gang and Snoopy,
Oh, I love those, yeah.
they got to have a bigger impact long term than Garfield.
The net worth of the Charles M. Schultz net worth, if he were still alive, but I guess whoever owns 500 million, so not as much as Garfield.
Wow.
By a large margin. 300. Remember, 300 millions is a lot of years counting. That's a lot of difference.
So there must have been, he did something business wise. Like you think of the Peanuts, you think of their Christmas and their Halloween special, and
yeah,
everybody loves the Peanuts. Snoopy, you know what I mean?
There seems to be more hatred for Garfield than anything else.
Way more.
I hate Mondays. Oh, classic.
I love lasagna. I mean,
I hate my dopey dog. I'm competition for my owner's affections that I pretend that I don't want because I'm a cat, but I really do want it.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating. This is a fascinating number 19.
All right, continuing with the literary world, so to speak, novelist James Patterson. He's worth $800 million, and few authors have had as many successful books as Patterson. Owed primarily to the book's fast-paced plots and a publishing schedule that sees multiple books released every year. Come on.
I don't recognize the name, and I don't see a book on this list. So what books does he write?
I think he did like the one, I think Along Came a Spider was a movie. So he's like a spy thriller, crime. You got
to Google that, Ryan. I got to get a name.
Yeah, Along Came a Spider was a movie. Alex Cross was a movie.
Oh, okay, Alex Cross, yeah.
What's insane is just, again, I think of a novelist, we would go to like Stephen King, and I don't think Stephen King's in the top 30.
Yeah.
But you could almost argue maybe a James Patterson novel probably gets into a lot of bored housewives' hands.
Interesting. Again, a name that doesn't jump out at me at all.
No, I knew the name. Well, that's why I was able to say Along Came a Spider. I don't know why I knew that, but that's as much as I know. But I didn't realize he had that many books, and I didn't realize he was worth that much.
That's crazy.
All right, Jason, you want to talk about the greatest singer in the world?
And possibly the greatest Canadian of all time.
Yes.
Celine Dion coming in, cracking the top 20 at number 17. $800 million.
I had no idea it was that much. Come on.
The Vegas run.
I guess so.
Probably helped a lot.
It helped, but I don't think it would have given her $400 million. If you were to tell me she was worth $200 or $150 million, I would have been like, oh, that's respectable. That's reasonable. You know what I mean? I would have been like, oh, yeah, she's had a couple of big hits.
She must have had a good manager.
Yeah, she must have had some sort of father figure that looked out for her.
Someone that could show her the ropes.
Oh, yeah. He couldn't wait till she was 18.
Well, I'm reading here. She had 9 French language albums before the age of 18.
Sure. Yeah, she's big in Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah, My Heart Will Go On, right? Titanic, connected to James Cameron.
Yeah.
That massive movie. That was a massive song. That really skyrocketed her more so than the trajectory was already going. So, yeah.
I would say so. I always wonder how much of that $800 million is connected to the Titanic success.
I think a lot. Yeah.
All right. Talk about polar opposites. At number 16 to Celine Dion, we've got Dr. Dre. He's an American rapper, entrepreneur, of course, and producer who has amassed a net worth of around $820 million. He rose in prominence during the early days of the West Coast hip-hop scene. Dr. Dre was an integral part of the influential group, NWA. Did you ever see that movie, Straight Outta Compton?
No, I didn't.
It's not bad. It was interesting to watch Ice Cube's son play Ice Cube, which was a stroke of genius casting. He played it very well. It's almost what you'd expect. Even though I didn't really know the history of NWA per se, it was still... I felt like in many ways, maybe I did know more than I thought I did because we grew up in that time, but...
See, some of these music biographies that have come out recently, I haven't watched because I feel like I know enough that there's not going to be anything earth-shattering.
Yeah, there really wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. His or Bohemian Rhapsody or the most recent one, the Elton John one. I just don't think I'm going to watch it and come away with any increased appreciation, and maybe even a touch less, because I know that Hollywood's going to manipulate the story a little bit. So that's why I've never kind of jumped on that bandwagon. But a lot of his money, though, going back to Dr. Dre, though, a lot of his money is from his beats.
Beats earning roughly $500 million with Apple. So there you go.
Yeah.
He'd only be worth $320 million without that.
Helping find Eminem has helped.
Yeah. He's very influential. All right.
This one is shocking to me.
Yes and no because of maybe relativity, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Madonna, number 15, 850 mil. Like, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be way up on the list, but to be in the top 30 at 850, she hasn't been relevant in 15 years.
It must be her albums must just still sell. Greatest hits packages. I don't know.
If you were to go Madonna, Bono.
Right. I would assume Bono would have been worth more just because he's more active or more relevant today, even still.
Yeah, this is a crazy amount of money.
And Madonna's got I feel bad. I know a woman, unfortunately, in every culture, it's hard for a woman to age. I get it. You know, you see these up-and-comers like Ariana Grande or Miley Cyrus, and they're young and beautiful, and they're singing, and poor Madonna's like, oh, no, I'm the old lady. Yeah, like, now you are. And they have a hard time with that, to pass the torch. And I don't know if you've seen Madonna recently.
Yes.
It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind a little bit of work here and there if it just makes you whatever. But when it makes you, when you get to the unrecognizable stage, it's like, now you don't look like Madonna anymore. I don't know what we're doing here.
Something came across my news feeds, and I saw her in the bathtub or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That one particular scene or picture, and I looked at it. I literally did not know who it was.
Yeah. Well, she almost looks like Miley Cyrus now. It's weird. I just brought up a picture of her. She's 62 now. Yeah. Well, I mean, she was.
Yeah, I know.
40 years ago, she was huge, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was a teenager, she was sexy as hell, as they say. She's a beautiful woman. I mean, there's nothing wrong with aging. It's just part of life. But it's just sad to see people just like, it's okay to age. And now I don't think anyone would be saying, oh, Madonna's got wrinkles. Well, maybe they would, but they wouldn't be saying she looks like an alien.
I know.
Like, yeah.
One, I'm surprised she's still up at 850. Number 15. That's a lot.
All right, we wish you all the best, Madonna, and I guess she's bought herself another 30 years with that face. All right, 14. I've never heard of this person. Have you? This is crazy. So this individual is worth $850 million. Let me give you a little bit of a. How about I give you the resume first, and you tell me if you can guess the name, the name of this individual, dear listener. So this person is an American musician and entrepreneur with an estimated worth of $850 million. He is primarily known for his incredibly successful recording career with this band, I won't say who, a group that has sold over 75 million records worldwide.
Which really isn't like earth-shattering.
It's not earth-shattering, but it's a good number.
Yeah.
It's not 300 million like Enrique, what's his name? Julio Iglesias. I guess I remember his name. It's like, anyways, but much of this individual's fortune came from the creation and eventual sale of the record label A&M Records. Okay, so there you go.
That's where he made his money.
That's where he made his money.
That's what I was saying. The 75 million records is not what made this person his money.
The sale generated hundreds of millions of dollars for, drumroll please, Herb Alpert. There you go. And he was in the band Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. The fact that this band, who I've never heard of before, has 75 million copies sold. What does that tell you? That's crazy. The whole world of music existing that I...
Yeah, that's true.
And this individual is 85 today. There you go.
So he did a good job. He made a record label and sold it.
Yeah, that's about it. All right.
So another person in the musician... P. Diddy coming in at lucky number 13, $885 million.
Not too shabby?
No, not bad at all. What's interesting about him is I know him because of his music. Not that his music has really any interest for me, but that's where I know him from. But he's making his money not off his music. I don't know. Is anybody buying his music?
I don't know.
Really?
I couldn't name you any of his songs. I don't know any of his songs.
Yeah, just that one where he kind of combined
The Police or whatever that was.
the place. Yeah, Every Breath You Take.
Right. Right.
That's really the only introduction and really the only song I know of him.
And he married J-Lo, didn't he? Was he married to J-Lo at some point? Or am I mixing him up?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Oh.
But at any rate, it's his clothing brand. It's his. Now he's got like vodka. He's got his record label, Bad Boy Entertainment, which had the Notorious Big. B.I.G.
Jason. He doesn't go by Big. He goes B.I. Yeah. Respect the periods between the letters, please.
The B.I.G.
Yeah.
Okay, so, it's interesting how he is making so much money, and most people probably know of him through one or two songs, but that's not where he's making his money. And the fact that he's making even $885 million off of these other things is just mind-boggling.
Clothing and vodka, man. Slap your name on that label and make sure it's a good product, and there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we're nearing the billion, but we're not there yet. At number 12, you might have heard of this comedian. His name is Jerry Seinfeld. He keeps selling the rights to Seinfeld, the show, the sitcom, and he sold it to syndication for $500 million about 20 years ago. And then he resold it. I believe it's going to Netflix.
Oh.
I think it's Netflix. I think one of those streaming services for another like astronomical amount. So yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing good.
And he's funny. Yeah. What I like about Jerry, there's no real. I mean, we all have skeletons per se. He's made a couple of little whatever here and there in his life, but nothing. He just does comedy. Seems like a nice guy. He's pretty smart. I enjoy him. If Ruben was here, he would recommend his Comedians in the Car. He's getting coffee stuff he does on Netflix. It's quite good. It's like an interview show with certain, and it's actually quite good. You get to see more of a relaxed conversation. It's funny how they just talk. You can see what makes a comedian when their everyday conversation is funnier than the average movie that's made, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I always found him interesting. I did not like him being interviewed. I didn't find him funny as a person being interviewed. I found like he struggled in that.
I think he likes to control the conversation.
Yeah. But like on the TV show, you laugh at his character and his stand-ups. It's okay for me. It's not like.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. No. But
he's not. He seems like a decent dude, though, for the most part.
Yeah. I don't think he's a jerk, but he's comfortable.
He's been smart with his decisions.
Yeah, I think he has.
Right? Yeah. Another author coming in. Billion. J.K. Rowling. Obviously, the author of the Harry Potter series turned into movies.
Yeah.
And that's been her big break.
She is a very attractive woman. If you look at her, I know she's older now, but I think she's still single. I don't think she's married or anything. But she's an attractive, wealthy woman. What a get. If you're a single guy out there and you can win her over.
Yeah, I mean.
She's made a little bit of I'm sure. She's made a few headlines recently.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Some of her.
Yeah, I won't say what they are. If you want to know what her controversial statements are, go ahead and just Google JK Twitter, and you'll see some of the statements she's made about certain communities, and we'll leave it at that. But interesting that, and this goes for any celebrity, especially when you have a lot to lose. We all have things to lose if we say things. Even me with my job, there's things I don't say. And not that I want to say things, but I mean, I'm into podcasts. I have a podcast, and even I'm careful that I don't say anything that's derogatory, hateful, racist, all those things. And I don't want to, but I'm careful that I just inadvertently say something that's harmful because I could, lose my job. I work in the government, right? And so it's just interesting with celebrities. Their employer, so to speak, could be, a music company, record company, movie company, or just the public, right? That's your customer. Some things you just don't have to say. I always find it interesting when people say things like, you didn't have to say that, JK. You don't have to say it.
Yeah, whatever we're talking about, you can think it, you can feel it.
Yeah.
The need to say it,
it's weird,
just for the sake of saying it, and I'm not sure what. Yeah, I don't really know. I've seen things and people get upset.
I'll tell you right now. But let's edit it. It's amazing what those books have done for her and everyone else. Yeah,
$1 billion to be an author and to make $1 billion off of writing books. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. All right, another R&B rapper, Jay-Z, who of course has the lovely wife of Beyonce. He's an American rapper, entrepreneur, of course, music mogul with an estimated worth of $1 billion.
I don't know how this happened.
Well, Jay, it was through a series of smart business decisions. Jay-Z has managed to retain rights to his music.
That's a big one.
Yeah, a major factor in his continually growing net worth. In 2008, he remarried, of course, singer Beyonce, and the couple combined, well, this tells you what she's worth, is $1.4 billion. So she's only worth only $400 million. So he co-founded the record label Rockefeller Records.
What's interesting is they don't put in here in this little write-up, he's also created a sport agents group of people. What do you call those? People who, the Jerry Maguire, right? They have agents.
Oh, okay. Like a sports agency, I guess sports.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So he's hiring or, signing athletes to his.
Oh, very cool.
That's recent. Yeah, a couple years. Okay. How this guy tricked his way into the top 10.
Yeah.
This has got to be the biggest illusion of them all. David Copperfield, number 9.
Yeah.
At $1 billion.
Yeah. He's walked through the Great Wall of China. He walked through the Great Wall of China. Have you seen that?
No. He could disappear for the rest of my life and his life, and I would not even know.
Who's more annoying, David Copperfield or David Blaine? They're both kind of pompous.
Yeah.
But yet, I'm surprised too. Again, if you were to tell me David Copperfield was worth $100 million, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's a magician. But no, he's worth $1 billion. He owns a collection of rare magic memorabilia, estimated to be as much as $500 million in magic stuff.
Is there really that much money in magic memorabilia?
That's a weird thing. Like, what does he have? Gandalf's staff?
Look at this deck of cards. Penn and Teller used to use these. I don't know who cares about. This is like an area that I'm obviously extremely ignorant in, because I can't imagine that there's memorabilia of $500 million that he has. There's obviously others that he just owns. That's worth $500 million.
Yeah, it's insane. All right, number 8. This makes sense. I mean,
makes more sense than David Copperfield.
Yeah, well, when you're a member and songwriter, musician for the biggest band to ever live, the Beatles, Paul McCartney, successful with the Beatles and successful as a solo artist. He's the half of the songwriting duo of him and John Lennon. They broke up in 1970, but even 50 years since that breakup, he continues to top the charts and hit albums, worldwide tours. It's Paul McCartney, $1.2 billion. Even after the divorce, he's still worth that much.
No wonder he's smiling.
Oh, yeah.
$1.2 billion for playing music.
I still want to do an episode on the 10 greatest or the greatest clues or indications that Paul McCartney, the original, has died and this is the replacement.
Dude, it's pretty strong.
It is. It's fun.
It's pretty strong.
It would be fun. At the end of the day, if it's true or not, I always say conspiracy theories, true or not, they're just fun to go down the rabbit hole. It's all it is.
Especially when it's not easily debunked.
Yeah.
You can't, yeah. Okay, so here's somebody that needs no introduction, but doubles the net worth, almost doubles the net worth.
Yes, that's a big jump. So we got number 8, 1.2 billion, and then billion. Number 7, like there's no in between. It's crazy that there's no one in between 8 and 7. This would be like $1 billion later. We have this individual who is
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
2.2 billion. 2.2 billion.
That's a lot. I guess, surprised, not surprised, because that's a lot of money. I know it's endorsements, the shoes alone. I mean,
oh, that's where. So this is celebrities. So the reason they put him in here in this list is not because of his career as a basketball player. He only made $94 million his whole out of salaries.
Right. That's interesting.
So today he's more of a celebrity than an athlete, obviously. So he's made $1.6 billion in endorsements.
Yep. Mostly
from Nike. Which just goes to show you how much Nike's worth. I mean, they give out shoes like they're candy.
Yeah, I wish they did when I was a kid. In 1992 or 1, okay, I bought a pair of shoes. Now, let me just do the math here. Because this back in the day, even when we were teenagers age, Nikes were the thing, right?
I remember buying my first Nike Airs, Air Pegasus.
So in 1991, I bought a pair of shoes for $250. That's the equivalent of $413 today.
Wow.
Yeah. I bought it with my own money, paper. Well, no, back then I was a dishwasher at a pizza joint. And I bought a pair of shoes for $250. And I even, of course, $413 today money gives you what, how much money I was dropping on shoes, but boy, it was worth it. I wore those things like as long as I could. I valued them so much. You can see why people have been mugged for shoes.
And what were they?
They were Nike Airs, but they were kind of like a cloth material on the outside and almost like a preppy dress runner shoe.
Okay. So more casual.
Yeah, it was a casual, but Airs all the same. But you wouldn't wear them on the court, but they were still sport-like.
Yeah. So yeah, my first I bought with my paper money were I believe it was the first year Air Pegasus came out.
I remember those.
Yeah. They had a little window.
Yeah. Remember the cheap knockoff shoes that people would buy with the air bubbles and they would pop? The air thing would pop, and so they'd walk around. The people, the poor kids, they'd walk around. Their shoes, they squish sounds and stuff, and water get into them.
Those Air Pegasus were well over $100.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you buy them today for the same price.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, we used to buy VCRs for $1,000 back then.
It's weird how certain things still sound expensive, but it's $100 then. It's still $100 now. Anyway, going back to Jordan. So he made $1.6 billion in endorsements from Nike and Gatorade. And the other is just investments, including into the Charlotte Hornets. Right. He sold a 20% stake in the team to a group of investors for $1.5 billion.
Crazy. Good for him. And by the way, that Last Dance, I don't know if he made anything off that, but what a great documentary that was on Netflix.
Right.
All right. So you've got number 6. Have you looked at this yet?
Yeah.
Do you know who this individual is?
No.
Okay, this is crazy. Jamie Gertz. Didn't even know if it's a boy or girl, but I shouldn't say. I didn't know if it's a male or female. Not that it matters. I know, but I don't know the name or person at all. But Jamie Gertz is an actress. There you go. Philanthropist and sports team owner who's worth around $3 billion. I don't know who this person is. I'm just going to very quickly, going to Google what she looks like. She better be hot or else, come on. Yeah. Oh, I've seen her before. What? Her?
She's taking her husband's money and using it to do these things.
I've seen her before. She's 55. She's 10 years older than me. She was born on my birthday, or our birthday is October 28th. Yeah.
It's your birthday.
That's right. She was on ER for a while. Okay. She was on This Is Us briefly. I watched that. I'm trying to see the other TV shows that I might have seen her on. Oh, she did an episode of Seinfeld. There you go. Family Ties. Facts of Life. But she's worth $3 billion.
It's her husband's money, though. It's not her. She's spending her husband's money.
Oh, she's pretty. The bulk of her worth came to her marriage to billionaire Tony Ressler, the co-founder of Ares Management. Gertz and Ressler have ownership stakes in Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Brewers. While still an actor, Gertz is also an avid donor, there you go, to a number of charitable causes, often topping lists of top celebrity donors. So good for her. There you go.
Yeah, interesting. So, coming in at number 5, coming in strong at number 5. This is probably the biggest celebrity.
Well, the whole world knows this name.
The whole world is very well aware of who this person is. The most recognizable celebrity on this list, Donald J. Trump, coming in at $3.1 billion.
If indeed that is the amount he's worth, that's where he lands, yes.
Yeah, some people say that his net worth has fluctuated over the years, which kind of...
Well, so is mine.
No, I know, but which kind of show that this might be fairly legitimate number. So yeah, obviously he's known for being the president of the United States. His TV shows,
which I admit I enjoyed. Becky and we watched The Apprentice. As a TV personality, the way he was on TV, it was a very Trumponian, and like, this isn't to get political. Like, I had no investment in him firing celebrities or other people, and the way he was, how should I say this?
It was the show.
Yeah, like he was ridiculous.
Yeah.
All I'll say is that his character on the TV show was ridiculous. Okay, and all I'm going to say is this is just I felt like a lot of that was just seemed to carry over. So I was like, oh, that's just maybe who he is. But it was fun to watch on a reality show. But I guess people might not have enjoyed it. Like, it's a divisive topic. I don't want to. I
No,
enjoyed
we're
I
talking about
enjoyed him
him
as
as
a
entertainer.
he's entertaining, and he was entertaining as a president for, and I guess in a weird way I'm not emotionally involved there either because I'm Canadian, so I'm not trying to belittle what anyone may or may have felt. I'm just saying it was entertaining, and I guess his time is running short as the time of this recording. January 20th, isn't that the exit date?
Yeah, but he's got a lot of fight in him left. He's not going away without a fight.
The reality show continues.
Yeah, we shall see. It's like a cliffhanger.
We've done a couple Donald Trump episodes. It'd be interesting to do another one. I'll figure out a topic we could do. He's a very interesting, I know, polarizing character. Well, a lot of celebrities are polarizing, to be honest. He's not any different.
Yeah, and he's been in the public eye since I was a child, right? You know, he's been around. He's also, written books, apparently. Most people suggest it's ghostwriters with his name on it. And his business dealings around the world, whether it's golf courses or real estate and all the rest. So, yeah.
There's one thing I will agree with him, and I'll make this known. His daughter is hot. I agree.
What, Ivanka?
Oh, she's gorgeous. I agree with Donald. She's a.
Oh, I see.
I don't condone that kind of love between a father and daughter, but I agree she's a good-looking woman. Okay, number 4. Speaking of big personalities who are also in their own way divisive. Kanye West, net worth of $3.2 billion. I guess you can't be worth this much money and popularity without being divisive. You're gonna divide people. I mean, I'm divisive. We're all divisive. I just don't have an audience.
Right. And I think that's the key, depending on the circle of influence.
Sure. So during his career to date, Kanye West has earned only around $400 million during his career from his music, but he became a billionaire officially just this year, Jason, in 2020, thanks to the explosive success of his Yeezy clothing brand. In 2019, Yeezy generated $1.5 billion in revenue, earning him $154 million in payment. But in 2020, even with the COVID crisis, the brand is on pace to generate $1.7 billion. And so between 2020 and 2026, Kanye is projected to personally earn another $2.2 billion in royalties off Yeezy alone.
It's unbelievable that clothing can make you that much money.
I know. I mean, we'll wear it. I guess that's the market.
Yeah, but the thing is
it's not cheap.
That many people are buying Yeezy stuff. Yeah, they're not cheap clothing. And I don't know if I've ever seen anybody in a Yeezy.
No, it can't be easy.
No.
Is it affordable clothing? Maybe it is. Maybe that's a supply and demand. Is it a lot for cheap, or is it not a lot for not cheap, or is it just a lot of rich people buy, or like, because there's not a lot of rich people, like, despite this list, compared to the masses. Like, so you kind of like, how do you get rich off like that kind of rich off a clothing brand? Is it? I guess we can Google really quickly. Yeezy.
Yeah, he owns 100% of Yeezy.
That's the thing, right?
That's the big difference.
So Yeezy clothing prices. So crew neck sweaters and hoodies retail at $370. Oversized t-shirts of premium fabrics will go around for $200, and fake shearlings are priced between $600 and $700. The pants start at $250 and go as high as $450. So it's middle class rich. It's kind of like I could afford it if I wanted to, but I'm not buying a pair of pants every month, if that makes sense. I could buy a Yeezy outfit and I wouldn't be homeless.
Yeah, but would you look good in it?
No. I'm looking at the clothing right here, and it's like, no, that's not my style.
Good for him. What's interesting, I believe, I could be wrong.
Maybe a hoodie. Yeah, buy a hoodie.
Yeah. I think Jay-Z found him.
Is Kanye okay? Is he mentally health? Is like
No.
Yeah.
No, he's complicated. I'm not sure how much, he could probably do himself some favors.
What an interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall during a conversation between him and Kim when they don't think anyone's listening.
Wow, they've had this last year. They had some kind of even online stuff that was concerning, where they're like, "We're coming to get you," or I'll meet you at the house. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know enough about him other than he's done well for himself, and despite being controversial and polarizing, he seems to find a way to come out on top. So
sure.
Now another person. It's interesting how we kind of go through this list last little bit, how controversial some of these people become, polarizing.
Right.
Oprah Winfrey, number 3, just edging out Kanye at $3.5 billion. So yeah, at any rate, Oprah, we all know who she is. We all understand her power in celebrity.
She kind of mucked up that Michael Jackson thing, though.
In what way?
Well, the Michael Jackson estate, I think they won successfully in a civil suit or whatever against the accusers that there wasn't enough. Oprah interviewed if they're victims, I'm sorry that they're victims. This isn't taking, this is. But I think
she interviewed those boys that made the move.
Yeah, I think they're treating it such as like this is gospel truth type interview. I didn't watch it because it was too gross. I found the whole thing gross. I don't know why. I don't.
Gross whether he's.
Yeah, it's gross whether. That's the thing. It's gross if he's guilty, and it's gross if he's innocent. I think he's in the middle. Quite frankly, I think.
Yeah, he was in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You got people like Macaulay Culkin, who's alive and well, and who was very aware of those times, and he has said like nothing happened. Is it weird to sleep over at an adult? Yes, but nothing sexual happened. I don't know, unless he's lying too.
And yeah, see, this is the world of Hollywood, right? There's so many dark secrets, especially with children.
I know.
As I get older, my interest in all those kind of, I just don't want to know anymore. Sometimes I want to pretend none of this really happens. That nobody wants to hurt other people.
I know, it's happening right now. So again, I hope Michael never hurt anybody because I think he was very talented. And with the Oprah thing, I think what happened was the interview got pulled off HBO and stuff and things like that. So it was a little bit of egg on her face, but she survived. She's still $3.5 billion rich. So.
But you also wonder, is she jumping on the controversial gravy train?
Oh, sure. Yeah, she got an exclusive with these guys, right? So
yeah,
that's about it. She didn't do anything wrong, but she may have just maybe jumped in a little bit too quickly without.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. This is crazy. Surprise, not surprise, these next two names, they kind of go hand in hand, quite frankly. I don't want to spoil number 1. But number 2, Steven Spielberg, net worth of $3.7 billion. It shows you how powerful Hollywood is, number 1. He's a director, screenwriter, producer, known essentially for creating the Hollywood blockbuster. You name the franchise, the Goonies, Gremlins, Back to the Future. He produced those things, right? And then he directed Indiana Jones, E.T., Jurassic Park, Jaws. It's just. But I've said this before. Actually, go check out a little plug. If you're listening to this episode and you haven't listened to my coverage of Steven Spielberg, check it out. And I won't say much more about it because I'll leave it at that. But I have mixed feelings on Steven. I recognize his. Obviously, you'd be an idiot to not recognize what he's done for Hollywood and his success in that. That's his job, and he's the best at it. Everyone knows the name of the director, Steven Spielberg. He's actually just one of my least favorite directors. I just find...
As far as the movies he makes.
Yeah, the movies he makes, I just find very depressing.
Indiana Jones might be...
They're the best. Because they're the most fun.
Yeah.
Is he accomplished? Is he talented? Yes. But again, talent doesn't always equal enjoyment. And I just find myself not enjoying his films. They're just dark films in some weird ways. But nothing wrong with the dark film. But I'll leave it at that and go check out that episode. You'll hear more of my thoughts on that if you want. It's a good episode, by the way. Steven Spielberg. Okay. But yeah, $3.7 billion and not too shabby. Now, we're talking about a jump here, Jason, to your number 1. So we go for 3 points.
Amazing jump.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, number 1.
Oh yeah, going from 3.7 billion at number 2, and then coming in strong at number 1 is George Lucas.
This actually makes me very happy. I'll tell you.
6.5 billion. For somebody who can't write a script,
he can't write. He can't direct.
He can't write dialogue. He can't write dialogue.
Yeah, he can't write dialogue. He's a visionary. Right? He creates a universe. He created a universe that people love. He sold Star Wars, the franchise, to Disney in 2012 for $4 billion. This cemented his legacy as the most successful filmmaker of all time financially.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Star Wars, okay, so he was involved in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he actually created Indiana Jones. That was his creation. And it was named after his dog, just like it was in the movie.
Steven directed
it. George produced it. So it was kind of like, it was a George Steven film. That's why I like Indiana Jones so much, because in George, I actually enjoy his stories, his universes, right? When you have a good director, which Steven is, he's a good director, but you have George's vision through Steven's direction, then you have the Indiana Jones trilogy, which is fantastic. Because I almost wish they collaborated more. He's produced movies like Body Heat, Labyrinth, Willow. But yeah, it's interesting. He's done so little in many ways to the amount that he's worth. My understanding is when Star Wars was made, he knew that it was a risk, and the studio thought it was a risk. So I think what happened was he asked for like the merchandise deal or something. I think he got full merchandising rights or something. He's like, look, you guys can take the risk of the film maybe or something like that, and I'll take the merchandising receipt or something to that effect. But anyways, the toys made him the money. So it's all things Star Wars he gets pocketed for. Now with the new deal with Disney, I don't think that's the case anymore, but I don't think he's going to have enough lifetime left to spend $6.5 billion.
No.
And a lot of Star Wars fans, despite his own prequel kind of mess, are upset that Disney took over the franchise. And funny enough, it's funny. The prequels divided fans, and Disney's acquisition divided more fans. It's a weird. Unfortunately, the Star Wars legacy has been divided and divided and divided amongst different camps. And I think there's a lot of Star Wars fans who would love to have flaws and all, or warts and all, would love to have George back for another Star Wars storyline.
Well, what he did in the number 4, but Star Wars, the original, the combination of the set, the combination of the story and the idea was his. That was him. As it gets bigger and bigger, you get other people influencing the direction, influence the look, influencing the decision making. But originally speaking, though, that first Star Wars, what a game changer.
Absolutely.
For him and for Hollywood.
Many imitators, very few have done what he's done. Obviously, look, there's no one who's imitated him that's anywhere on the list. So,
yeah, not even close.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our top 30 most successful net worth financially celebrities in the world.
Yeah. Let's nail down who we're going to pick, and or let's nail down the requirement as to why we pick who we're picking. Because there's a couple of people I don't really know.
So if you don't know them, you can't say good or bad. So that's fine. So at the end of the day, there's a couple like I don't know enough about Warren Buffett to say, or Herb Alpert. Or
Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, so I don't know enough about them. So they could be the worst. But I think, like we said at the beginning of the episode, Jay, that whoever we feel, what they've contributed, like let's use George Lucas and Steven, that's easy. It makes sense they are what they are. Despite what you think of the product they've given, they've influenced movies and merchandise and rides, and Disney bought this. They are who they are because they're huge. And I get it. Makes sense. Oprah Winfrey, she makes sense. Even Kanye makes sense. But so I'm not trying to give away my answer here, but I'm just saying, or I say like Paul McCartney makes sense. Like, yeah, he is worth what I get it. I guess for me, it's going to be a combination of what they've provided, maybe me personally. It's all
it's very
subjective. Yeah. You might be a huge David Copperfield fan, so he could be worth $10 billion to you. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. I guess I'm going to do it as, why is this person on the list, and how come they're worth so much? They've done nothing for me. I don't get it. That's for me the worst pick.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Okay, do you want to go through the names, or do you just have a pick?
Yeah, number 30, Simon. I just go backwards, so starting with number 30.
You don't have to say the names. Just say just say the name without saying the number. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
okay.
Simon, Matt Groening, Julio Iglesias, Jimmy Buffett, Dolly Parton, Howard Stern, Matt Stone, James Cameron, Bono, Kylie Jenner, Tiger Woods, Jim Davis, Celine Dion. Oh, did I miss?
Yeah, James Patterson, the novelist.
James Patterson, Celine Dion, Dr. Dre, Madonna, Herb Alpert, P. Diddy, Jerry Seinfeld, J.K. Rowling, Jay-Z, David Copperfield, Paul McCartney, Michael Jordan, Jamie Gertz, Donald J. Trump, Kanye West, Oprah, Steven Spielberg, and George Lucas.
All right, I'll go first because you're the guest. I'll let you. I think we might be. I don't know. I shouldn't say it. So it's a combination of and that much money for what? For me, I think I knew this before I even started the list. Kylie Jenner, number 21. I don't get why she's worth $700 million. We talked about, does she really work in the lab? How much input does she put in their cosmetics? I'm sure she could wear dollar store cosmetics and she'd probably look pretty. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
And she still makes $700 million.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, she could put her name on anything. She's an attractive woman. She's a TV personality because of the Kardashian family. And I don't know if any of that's talent. I think it's lucky. I think she's lucky. And good for her for being lucky. Some people are unlucky. Some people are born paralyzed from the waist down. So she was born with looks, opportunity. She got to slap her name on a lipstick, and here she is worth $700 million. Even Jim Davis, he created something. I think the Garfield cartoon's stupid, but at least it's a creation that lasted for decades and spawned movies and what have you. Like, there's something from that. But her $700 million worth it's like being born into TV royalty. That's why she's worth what she's worth.
She's famous for being famous.
Yes, and I find no value in that.
I'm torn between a couple.
Who's the two? Or who's the two? That's fine.
I'm going to take away Jamie Gertz because I don't think that's really one that should be in here. She's using her husband's money.
But at least she's done some acting and stuff. That's where I understand, but at least she's done something. She's actually legitimately memorized a script, and she's been in movies and TVs. Her worth is huge because of what she married into. But over Kylie, at least she's done some sort of talent.
Yeah.
I also argue with Jamie over Kylie too. At least Jamie had to work in order to get married to a rich guy. Kylie literally was, got plopped into a family biologically.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of just eliminating her in my list because I'm not sure, how much her $3 billion is because of her. At any rate, but I also thought the girl from Seinfeld, I forget her name.
Julia Dreyfus.
Yeah. I thought she was very rich. Her dad.
I think she's in the 500 million, so she's under the 6.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she stand to inherit billions from her father.
Yeah, from her father. Okay, so here we go. So my 2 is Copperfield.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Worth a billion?
His stamp collection is huge.
Come on, he's pulling the wool over our eyes on that one.
He's a cheap trick.
That one's a struggle for me, but I would have to go with I think at the end of the day, you're right, the Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Famous for being famous.
At least David produced a product. Again, he produced a product.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And it's in an area that I'm not as familiar with. I mean, I remember growing up, he had to always have those TV specials that everybody would tune in to watch, once or twice.
And they're just random people from the crowd participating in the tricks,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
None of them were plants. They're all...
No one had bugs in their ear.
Yeah.
But Kylie, famous for being famous.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know enough about what she does day in and day out.
Yeah, maybe she's an incredible business meeting person. You know what I mean? She's a dragon in the office room.
But like it says here, though, she has secured endorsement deals.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's the endorsement deals that gave her the seed money to help prop up probably her cosmetic line.
Sure.
And that's just being famous for being famous. At least with somebody like Jordan, he accomplished stuff on the basketball court to give him clout, to make an endorsement deal with Nike or Gatorade worth something. She just put her face on camera.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything to deserve endorsement deals. Even Tiger Woods, right?
Oh, yeah.
Endorsement deals based on
his talent.
Success, his talent. So, yeah. I have to agree. Kylie Jenner.
All right. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations to all these multimillionaire and billionaires. Good for them. We will never be anywhere near that. So we have the right to wonder.
The one we dislike and pick the one we dislike the most.
That's right. Well, remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud, and we're here to help you find it. Jason, thanks for coming on and being a guest host on this episode. We hope to have you on again.
Thank you, brother.
Gamma Gator Productions.